What is up guys, I'm back and us Nexus owners have been waiting patiently for the next version of Android. So you can understand my excitement when Google surprisingly dropped the developer preview for Android N yesterday, and although you're not supposed to flash this on your main device, come on, it's me. Come on. So using it for a few hours now, I can safely say that there's a theme to describe the entire Android N developer preview, and that is revamped and slightly upgraded. Everything you see and touch in Android N is revamped and slightly upgraded. Nothing has changed drastically, and nothing is quite exactly 100% the same either. Starting off with what you see as soon as you turn on the display is the notifications. You'll notice that notifications now go edge to edge. At first I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but now that I've been using it for a little while, I definitely warmed up to it and I think it looks a lot cleaner than before in terms of design language specifically. Moving into the notification tray, before we get to the new quick toggles, you'll notice these notifications as well are edge to edge, which looks a bit more complete than before. Not quite sure, but I'm liking the look. As for the notifications themselves, I find them to be a tad bit confusing, but remember this is the first developer preview, so this is far from final. At the top, you'll notice the new quick toggles. With the first swipe down to check your notifications, you can now access these small toggles at the top with one click. However, you can swipe down and in addition to seeing this cool new animation, yes, this cool new animation, you can also get a lot more toggles than you ever could before on stock Android. And not only are there more here, but swiping across reveals another page. In addition, touching any of these icons here shows you more information about that specific section. There's also a little edit button at the bottom here that lets you customize which toggles you want shown, so you can drag and drop any of these as you please. Multitasking is also revamped and slightly upgraded, or should I leave out the word slightly? You tell me. Of all the upgrades, I think multitasking is definitely one of my favorites for Android N. The cars themselves are a lot larger now, which lets you see much more information and actually throws the current app you're using way to the bottom when you hit that multitasking button, since you clearly hit it to go to another application. Double tapping on the multitasking button now acts like a quick switch to your last application and is extremely snappy. I previously used this feature a lot on custom ROMs, so I'm definitely happy to know it's now on stock Android. It's one of those features you never knew you'd use so much until you actually start using it. Now where things get a little exciting is split screen multitasking. When scrolling through your open apps, you can simply hold on one and drag it to the top. This opens it on a top window and gives you an app switcher for the rest of the open apps at the bottom. If you're currently in an application and want to use the split screen with this specific application, a simpler way to do this is to hold the multitasking button while you're in that application. It will automatically drag it to the top and give you the app switcher at the bottom. I was actually surprised to see how many apps actually work with this without hiccups. You can resize the windows as you'd expect, and it also works in landscape. Jumping into the settings app, you'll notice it looks a little different, or to be more specific, it looks revamped and slightly upgraded. There are now suggestions at the top, and every category has a little bit of information. So for example, under Wi-Fi you'll see what network you're connected to, storage will show you how much storage you have left, and battery will show you how much battery you have left and so on, basically saving you a click. When you're actually in one of these submenus, you can now simply swipe out from the left to access the rest of menus, saving you from having to go back every single time. Again, this is just the first developer preview, so let's see how this pans out in the final release. If you remember the system UI tuner that was available in Marshmallow that required you to hold down the gear icon at the top of the notification toggles and allowed a little more customizations, well, it's back and now there's a night mode. In addition to enabling a dark theme throughout the system by using this, you can also allow it to adjust the temperature of the display, and what this does is filter out all the blue from the display, which makes it a lot easier on your eyes at night. Essentially what f.locks and other similar applications do, but now with the simple click of a button in the toggles. The animations throughout Android N are slightly faster. Not sure if it's just me, but this definitely gives it a more snappy experience when maneuvering throughout the user interface, and it really makes a solid impact. So that's everything that really stood out to me in Android N, and for this being the first developer preview, I'm really impressed to see how stable it actually is running, and I'm definitely looking forward to see the future improvements and changes up until the final release. Also, if you haven't heard about the official TechSmash t-shirts yet, feel free to check them out in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching.